Alright, welcome back. This is Game 6 of our BSG Clan War. Bronze, Silver, Gold between Heartland Hitmen and Pandora's Mighty Soldiers. In the top left, we have our current champion, Spork, who has come in at being down 3-1. It is match point for Pandora's Mighty Soldiers. He has held on for a game. Can he come back with the reverse almost all kill? In the bottom left, hoping to stop this comeback and win it and close it out for his clan, is Pandora's Mighty Soldiers Blood Knight as the Green Zerg. It was the Zerg's choice of map. He has chosen Whirlwind. This has been a Zerg-friendly map since it has come out. Zerg love those big, wide open spaces. Lots and lots of bases to take. This is basically just a playground for the race in general. We'll see if Spork can handle. Spork is going for a Forge Fast Expand. Everything's super standard. We'll see if Blood Knight is going to get greedy and go for that Hatch first or go for the more standard Pool first. Hatch first against Protoss, very risky. If they go Forge, you will get cannoned and there's not much you can do to stop it. And Blood Knight actually will be able to scout this out very quickly, so he can actually start screwing with any sort of placement of the Nexus or of the Forge itself. So Nexus first is looking pretty unlikely for Spork, but Spork is actually saving up for a Nexus, and nope, never mind, there's a Forge. A little bit of a missed wall off there, so he will need to patch that up, unless that is going to be the opening that he leaves. And it is going to be Hatch first for Blood Knight, and oh, Spork is going to see this. He's going to know with the timing that it is a Hatch first. He does have the opportunity to actually start throwing down some cannons if he moves just now, but he does not, and the spawning pool is down. The timer is ticking for any sort of cannon rush in the natural, and that window is quickly closing. Pylon down here will close off the bottom. A little bit awkward, but not a huge deal. Alright, gas going up for Blood Knight. That's going to be interesting. Now, there are a few things that have been coming out lately. There's been a 2-base mass upgraded Ling into 3-base Ultralisk with a very quick gas. Would love to see a few more examples of that style. See where he goes with this. Spawning pool is done. Queen should be coming out shortly. Nexus on the way for Spork. Everything very standard for our Protoss player. Cannon almost done. And this wall off is almost complete. Does need to shore this up just a little bit. Maybe a pylon right there, leave an opening right there for the Zealot to block off. Zerg, only 2 guys in gas. Not sure if that's intentional or not. Might want a little bit more in terms of minerals, and going for a very early Roach Warren. Interesting. Now, as Zerg, when you see a Forge Fast Expand, which Zerg is completely aware of, you basically have 2 options. You have the option to go for a very fast third base to stay ahead of the Protoss economically, or you can do some very aggressive play, and it looks like he is going for the latter. Does still have guys in gas even after getting that speed started up, so looking to see some sort of an early... He needs to do some early pressure in order to actually make this worth it. It's putting down a Spine Crawler, which is a bit questionable, just because he is going to be having all this tech that will allow him to defend, and he does need those drones. He needs that economy that he's already starting to sacrifice. So his economy is going down all the more. 27 probes to 20 drones. And he's getting 1 Roach and a bunch of drones on the way behind this. He's going for this very middling sort of play that I just don't think is going to be what you need when you see a Protoss going for these early 2 bases. You need some sort of an edge. And Blood Knight, as Zerg, you want to swing either to economy or to tech or to just a massive swell of army. And he's just kind of going in the middle and not doing any of those things particularly strong. So I'm getting a little bit worried for our Green Zerg Blood Knight. Some extra gates going up for Spork. No tech beyond Cybercore yet, though. A lot of Protosses lately have been going for just very quick tech, just staying on one gate for a surprising amount of time. With the Mothership Core, you can actually defend a lot of early pushes. But Spork is actually opting for 6 gates in total now, and a very early +1. And that +1 attack is so key for Protoss. Zealots will two-shot a Zergling. If they have one more attack, then the Zergling does an armor upgrade. Normally they 3-shot, so that extra little bit of damage is so important. And that makes these early gate pushes so hard to hold if you only have Lings. He will have some Roaches with this, but again, he's going for this middling sort of... He's getting Lair and Overlord speed with no third behind it. If he's going for some sort of drop, perhaps, he might be going for some attempted drop, which could be interesting, but it really won't do much with all these gateways coming up. He will easily defend that. Would be powerful if he had some sort of cutesy little defense up here with some sentries and some cannons, but not really seeing that in the cards for our Zerg. Lots of Zealots on the way, and that +1 attack is getting chronoed out. He is going for the attack now. There is a proxy pylon in the bottom right for all the reinforcements. The Zerg is... Oh, Zerg might actually see it. Will the Zerg see it? He does. He sees the proxy pylon, so he is going to know that some sort of attack is done. He instantly mobilizes, but he might just be a little bit too late. Oh, and he does pull back. He knows that there's some sort of shenanigans on the way. Sees that proxy pylon, and with the vision of all these overlords, which has been fantastic, but oh, he's pulling back. Spork is pulling back instead of going forward with this attack. Could be coming in from the side. Does kind of want to stay near that proxy pylon for those reinforcements. Has an Immortal on the way with the Robo to reinforce this. Will help against Roaches, but with all these units, it is kind of tough though, because the Zerg on 2 bases will have a bit bigger of an army than if he did try to go for a greedy third base. That push really is designed to kill an early third, which the Zerg has not gone for. Lots and lots of Lings. Roach speed on the way, more Roaches on the way, and a third base in the very bottom right, and a Facebook notification, which is not on the production tab. 2 Evo chambers going down. Upgrades will be a little bit later. And Spork just hasn't attacked. Because, oh, these Lings are seeing everything. That is actually pretty unfortunate for Spork. Spork does have another proxy pylon in place, and this third, if it gets up, he might start pulling ahead in economy, but oh, it's in such a hard to defend position. As soon as Spork sees that, he can just snatch it without any trouble at all. 2 Lings coming down here, a little ambitious, going for that pylon. Not enough with the extra weapons that just happen to be right on time. Third base is up, and drones are coming out. If he can get this third base up and running, he might be able to get into a good spot. Needs more gas. Does need that gas over there, especially with this layer tech on the way. Upgrades on the way. But he hasn't really done anything with this layer tech besides Roach speed. And he has a pretty sizable army, but he hasn't really engaged out here, out in the open. And +1/+1 now done for the Protoss. More, just 1 drone down here. Does need to actually get that base saturated, but he can't really transfer any drones down here because this pylon will actually see everything that there is to see. And a third coming up for Spork. That's a beautiful decision. He has a sizable army just kind of looming in the background. A little bit afraid for him though. The Zealots will 2-shot those Lings, but not for long with that. With that +1 armor. As soon as that +1 armor is done, those Lings are infinitely better against this army. So actually, this army is a little bit dicey now. Would like to see a Mothership Core out with this. Again, that recall for those overextensions. Give you a little safety net. He has not seen this third base. He will scout. He thinks this third base is coming up here, and he will think the Zerg is on 2 bases, which is basically true, because the Zerg has not actually been able to saturate this base until just now, starting to get some drones up there. and he can't really use this for reinforcements. He can use it for flank purposes and counterattacks, but not much else. These Zerglings have been hero Zerglings. Just very carefully sitting in the bushes. No one sees us. No one. Meanwhile, Colossus. Well, almost Colossus. Colossus will be on the way very shortly. They have served him well in the past. +2 ranged attack, +1 melee attack, and a hive, a very fast hive, considering he is basically on 2 bases. This base still not actually really up and running. He needs to get some more drones there. He needs to get the gas there, which he's doing right now. This gas has now been taken as well. Blink almost done for Spork. Likely going to push when he gets those Colossus out. Lots of bank for Blood Knight and supply lead for Spork. This army just hasn't really done anything. It needs to poke and prod, just send some Lings out there. Oh wait, the Lings can see everything anyway. So he knows that army is there. There are no force fields to stop the Lings, and with that +1 armor, he did have a window, which is now closed because +2 attack will 2-shot a Zergling with +1 armor. Again, the attack needs to be 1 above the armor of the Zerg. Colossus coming out with range as well. +3 attack is on the way. That will just melt away everything that is Zerg. Adrenal glands coming up. That is an interesting decision. He does have a bunch of units back here in the main. Possibly looking for some sort of warp prism harass, but there is a robo at, so that could be a concern. But I don't know if he should start actually poking in at this. Start whittling down the Protoss army, because Roachling against anything with Colossi and Immortals, and especially this amount of Immortals. He has 6 Immortals. Oh yes, he does have a Nidus, and Ultralists are on the way. If he can get a Nidus right in there in that shadowy little area with this Overlord that's just waiting possibly for exactly that purpose, he might do some damage, but then Spork can just counterattack and murder him. So we'll see if that actually can work out. The Nidus is up. Ultralists are up as well, and he is... this is what that little force is for. That force is for actually getting into the Nidus. We will see where that Nidus is going to pop up very shortly. Oh, he is moving up. Should see a Nidus. Do not see a Nidus. See a Nidus? No Nidus. Alright. 4th coming up for Spork. Again, he is not being attacked, so he figures, why not? It is now on the Zerg to actually stop the Protoss, which is not where you want to be as Zerg. Zerg wants to be ahead in bases, wants to pressure the Protoss into actually needing to come out and attack, but there's no real reason for Spork to move out. He doesn't need to. He can just hang back and have a million bases, but he is maxed out, so now is the time to actually start trading. And even if he trades evenly or even a little bit not well, he should be just fine. The 2 Colossi will melt all these Lings away. The Zealots are taking a lot of damage. Tons and tons of Roaches. And this Nidus is now coming up. That could be a bit of a counterattack, but it's all going to be for sacrificing his natural and likely his main base. There's no Mothership Core to recall back in. Oh, he does have some Ultralists and some Roaches coming out. But if it's going to be a base race, I think the Protoss is going to be able to take this with no problem at all. And suddenly my mouse is stuck in the excitement of it all. Nidus is up. A single probe is here. And there's nothing coming out of the Nidus. He has not actually gotten out of the Nidus. Things have come back out to try and defend, but it is not going to happen. All his Immortals are going to easily handle all those Ultralists. Suddenly Zerglings, but suddenly Colossi. This is just going to be a slaughter as soon as things pop out. Lots of Ultralists are coming in, but they were not with the main force. And oh, look how quickly those Immortals just destroy those Ultralists. Ultraling against Immortal Colossi. Not going to happen. 165 supply to 56. A huge bank for Spork. Spork can build whatever he wants at this point and just push through and win. Some Lings coming in and dying before they can even reach their targets. This is not going to happen. 3 Ultralists coming in. Can they get some damage in? They do get a few hits in, but the Immortals quickly turn and just melt them away. There goes the Hive. That is going to be the final 2 bases for the Zerg. All the tech is gone. Tech has been completely reset. 3 Ultras in production, but there is the GG, and Spork has actually tied it up 3-3 in this best of 7. He might come back for the reverse all kill to salvage the series for Heartland Hitmen against Pandora's Mighty Soldiers. We will be back with the Linchpin game number 7 shortly after this.